What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today we are taking a look at the Figuarts Piccolo Mini from Dragonball Daima. I just got this in the mail the other day from dstartoys.com. I'll link them down in the description. And I got to tell you, this little fella is awesome. He is rounding out the first wave of the Dragon Ball Daima figures, the minis that they have been releasing, and he is probably the best one yet. There's a couple things maybe I don't like necessarily about him, but overall this figure is really cool. Let's do first things first though. Let's get him measured up and see how tall he is real quick, and then we'll take a look at his aesthetic. To the top of his little round head, he is right at 3¼ inches, which would make the entire figure about 8½ centimeters. So I think that works pretty well. But let's stick with, just like the last video, let's move into his aesthetic first, and then we'll start with some other stuff. First and foremost, his finish is gorgeous. All of the painted parts, the arms, the body, the head, is all a matte/flat finish, and it looks fantastic. The uniform is kind of a matte satin. I would call it more matte, but a lot of people might call it a satin. And the boots are kind of plasticky, but they got a kind of a satin finish on them. The paint applications on these faces are absolutely incredible, look really good, but they're simple but look really good. His proportions look really good. The arms are the right lengths. Now the legs, I mean, they're a little bit off, but it's kind of it's based off of a cartoon, so I'm not really tripping. His chest sculpt looks fantastic. The sculpt of his little musculature looks really good. The paint of his little muscle pads is flawless. I can't find anything to complain about with the paint. Well, there's not a lot of it because I mean he's a little figure, but it all looks really nice. Nice texture, got that, the lines and stuff that you see in a Piccolo figure on his arms at least. They've got that little paint down in there in the gi for his abs. I like that detail sometimes. I keep waiting on them to forget, but they never seem to, so I'm kind of proud of them for that. His little belt is just plastic, and everything else is just plastic. The boots have some details. I would have liked to have seen a wash or something in there to kind of pop them up a little bit, especially at his price point, but we didn't get that, so can't cry too much. They did give him a butt.
We have a problem.
That's a bit of a complaint for me, but other than that, this figure looks really nice. I love how his little ears look. And as we move along, we'll look at his other head sculpts and stuff too. But let's compare him to some other figures, particularly the other Daima figures, and see how he looks next to all of them. And here he is next to the mini Vegeta and the mini Goku. He absolutely towers over them, but man, that trio right there looks really good. And here he is next to the Kid Goku from GT and the Kid Krillin from Dragon Ball. And it's crazy. He's taller than the Kid Goku from GT, but not as tall as the Kid Krillin from Dragon Ball. So the scaling somewhere went a little awry, but I think they look really nice. And here he is next to Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku and Superhero Piccolo. And they both look really good next to each other. I like these two, how they kind of, kid version, grown-up version. I like that a lot. And here he is next to a bottle of hand sanitizer and a can of root beer. All right, look, those all look really awesome next to each other, especially him next to the other minis and the kid versions of Goku and Krillin. Let's move in and take a look at his accessories. Now, he is not as cheap as the Goku and the Vegeta figures were at $35. He comes in basically at a $60 price point, but he comes with a plethora of stuff on top of that I think kind of closes the gap to an extent, but you make the decision when you check all this stuff out. He has 3 bald-headed head sculpts. He comes with this head sculpt on him in the package. He has a teeth gritting face. And he has an open mouth yelling face. He has a turban head sculpt with 3 interchangeable face plates. With the turban head sculpt, he has this grinning face. And there's the top of the turban right there. It looks great. He has this eyes closed like he's meditating faceplate. And he has this open mouth yelling face. And I think it looks really good. These little faceplates, They just look like this when they're not connected, and they stick up into the turban with the 3 little prongs right there. He has 8 interchangeable hands. He has the little fists on him in the package. He has 2 open hands. He has 2 little martial arts grip hands. And he has 2 pointy finger hands for like his little special beam cannon. He has a set of cross arms. And here is his cross arms attachment. I think the details and stuff on it look really nice. And he comes with a cloth cape that looks fantastic. And here is the cape, and it looks really good. The top, like shoulder pad part, is a really flexible plastic right here. It's got a nice sculpt to it. And the cape, I'm not sure what kind of material this is. It's kind of soft and silky kind of, and it's got a wire running around the outside of it, so you can just kind of pose it however you want to pose it. It looks really, really well done, and it's stitched up in there on kind of a little frame and connected to it so it stays on good. And I'll show you how it goes onto his body. You just pull his head off, and his head and neck just go right up through there, and then just reattach the head. It goes on really easily, and you can still pose the head. I was worried that we wouldn't be able to, but you can pose the head still pretty well even with it on there, and it looks really good. Whoops, as I say that and it pops off, but take my word for it, it stays on there, and it looks really, really nice. I like it a lot. All right, now I think all of that stuff looks pretty darn good. I mean, is it $60 good? That might be subjective. For me, it was, but you know, you tell me down in the comments what you think about it. Let's check out his articulation because it is excellent. First off, let me get his little cape off of him so we can actually see him move. That cape is so cool that it's a cloth like that and moves around. Let's start with his head. It looks down fantastic. Looks up really, really good. Tilt, moves around. The neck moves in conjunction with it. It's on a double ball peg.
Oh, hallelujah.
A little bit different than the Goku and the Vegeta were. They were just on a ball peg, and their neck ball peg and the the 2 ends of the ball peg just kind of acted like a double ball peg. He is on an actual double ball peg on top of the neck, and he gets even better movement out of him than they did. His little shoulders, excellent, way past 90. I love that. His little butterfly joint, you can cross his little arms over out in front of him. That looks awesome. And his butterfly looks great, no gapping, no anything like that. And it just is I actually really haven't even looked up in there, but it's just like he's on just like a ball peg that moves around inside there, and there's a hinge, and it looks and moves really, really well. He's got a bicep swivel. Single jointed elbow, goes up to 90, maybe a degree or 2 past, but I don't really have a problem with it. And the wrist is on a ball hinge like just about every other SH Figuarts. Now, he has no diaphragm brake, just like Goku and Vegeta didn't, but he's on a little ball peg in the waist, and it allows him to kind of just swivel around, and that should be sufficient for what you're going to do with this guy. You can twist him all the way around because it's just a ball peg, so there's no reason why you shouldn't. The belt floats, so you don't have to worry about it really getting in the way. Excellent little split action out of him. He's just got little ball pegs up in there, so that works really good, and no dangle when he does it, so I like that a lot. Nice front kick way past the waist. I like that a lot. And this is soft plastic, the little diaper spot here, but it still works. It's not like too big or anything like that. Now, he does have butt cheeks, but you can kick him back a little bit because it's flexible plastic, just like the legendary Super Saiyan Goku's was. So you get a little extra room, but you get nice big gaps right there, and I don't like that one little bit.
Holy Jesus.
But what are you going to do? I mean, it's a complaint, but it's not like a huge deal breaker. So like I've said before with figures, he doesn't really do a full split like that, but if you kind of hold it right, it would kind of look like he did. But there's no real reason for you to need him to do that. He's got a thigh swivel, single jointed knee that does go past 90, so I have no complaints about it like that. Not the best looking, but I don't want to faint looking at it either. He's got a swivel down here in the at the top of his boot, so I kind of like that. Now the boot, the ankle, It's a little ball hinge, but you don't really get much out of it. That's another complaint I have about him, is you don't really get much out of his ankle, about that much down. And basically just a little bit past up right there, and that's about all you get. You do get a decent little ankle rocker out of him though, in and out. And he's got a toe brake. I'm not a fan of them, but his doesn't, make me want to throw up or anything. So, where it's kind of rounded right there, that actually looks halfway decent. So not a bad one. His little articulation is just as good as the Gokus or the Vegetas, and they both moved really well. So I have zero complaints about it. My final thoughts, the final thoughts on this figure. He's really cool. He is definitely the best of the three. I'm just going to put
1,000%.
He is definitely the best of the three that we have gotten, but he is also the most expensive, so he better be. Did his accessories make up for his $60 price point? To an extent, yeah. I would say it does. He's a Piccolo, so I mean, you're gonna, we got two types of head sculpts, four head sculpts in total, and 3 face plates altogether with that stuff too. So I would say, yeah, it does. I'm gonna give this figure an A. I'm going to give him, this is a solid A, because the figure looks fantastic. He's got a really nice spread of accessories. He moves great. His cloth cape is really, really well done. I really, really like that. An A. He's a solid A. I highly, highly recommend you get a hold of this figure. I know a lot of people were disappointed by the Vegeta. Everybody kind of liked the Goku or whatever. This figure is great. You're going to love it. If you have not subscribed yet, pause the video, scroll down, click like, click subscribe, leave us a comment. And with all that said, this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.